the Hammond organ is an amazing instrument, and I realised that having in the Wildflowers I was playing a Vox Continental, and it sufficed for that sort of thing. But what happened in 1967 was a single, a track called Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum, and I just loved the sound of the organ on that. And then I hitched up to London to see the Nice. I saw Keith Emerson attacking his Hammond organ, which was of course a Spinet, the smaller one. Then I spent one of those nights at a Love Inn they used to have. It was a very big place. I can't remember where it was in London. But Brian Allgood was there with his Trinity with Julie Driscoll. And again, you know, that sound of the organ was just mesmerising for me. So, you know, I worked for months and months labouring on building the Sevenoaks bypass with a construction company to try and get the money to get a Hammond organ, which I eventually did get in September 67, and it cost a fortune. Equivalent price now is £16,000. Anyway, I got the organ, but I couldn't afford a Leslie cabinet, which gave that extra sort of beautiful choral sound. I didn't have money for that, so all I had just had the organ. So I started experimenting a bit with that. The trouble is with the Hammond organ, it's not like a guitar. You can't just play a note and it will continue playing. Well, you can just keep your finger on the key, but it doesn't do very much. It's the same volume and everything. You can't do very much with the notes. It's a very staccato instrument, and I really wanted to get more emotion from the organ. I started fiddling around with the back, inside the back with the wires for the presets, and I changed the presets to sounds I liked, and then I manipulated the presets, which was like an octave at the bottom in black notes, manipulated those in a sequence while playing solo with the right hand, and that gave quite a nice effect. I think you can hear quite a lot of that as a good example on the first album in Magic Man. After that, because I had a lead, jackpot lead out to the amplifier from the back of the organ, not a cable to the Leslie cabinet, I stuck various fuzz boxes between the organ and the amp and tried out, you know, I found I could sustain a note much better. But I used like a vibrato on the organ and it gave a more smoother note. And then eventually, after trying quite a few fuzz boxes, I found one that just really matched my particular organ. Whether it will match another A100, I don't know, but it was called a Burns Buzz-Around, and it just worked really well. But I wanted more. I thought, well, I can solo now, you know, with long notes and do that. So I put a wah-wah pedal after the fuzz box. I tried various wah-wah pedals because the Crybaby didn't work at all because it's more for a guitar and it's got a very small aperture on it. I eventually found, of course, the Colour Sound, and that had a very wide aperture, and it gave me the opportunity to open and close like a mouth almost. I could feel as if I was like singing, and I can open and close this once I got the vibrato going and the fuzz box going. But then I still wanted more. I thought, well, it's just not carrying. So then I put I think it was a copycat echo chamber on the end of that, and that sort of helped as well. And then I changed that, and I went through various echo machines, Echoplex and whatever. But during that time, I had a good choice between just playing the straight organ, or the fuzz organ, or the fuzz moire, or with reverb or echo delay. So I had quite a lot of choices, and of course then I had the percussion as well on the organ. But the smaller organs didn't have so many stops, like spinet organs like Mike Rutledge had, and Dave Stewart and Keith Emerson. But the bigger organs, like full console organs like the C3 and the A100, which I had a much deeper sound. They had a 16-foot stop, so I could get a really big round sound, using this setup, and I think that just worked so well for me. And that's basically what I did to get the sound. Eventually, when I went in the studio, of course I had a Leslie cabinet in there, and I connected up to the Leslie, and I could use that for the chords in the various pieces of music we were recording. So that was great, because I really enjoyed that. And a long time later, I managed to get the money together for a proper Leslie cabinet. So yeah, it was basically not having the Leslie cabinet in the first place that made me persevere to try and get a different sound. Obviously I couldn't play like Jimmy Smith or Brian Auger or Keith Emerson with classical, and Jimmy Smith and the jazz. I couldn't play that sort of thing. So I wanted to get a type of sound that suited my particular style of playing, and I think I got it basically at that point.